What if I told you there's a moment, a quiet, ordinary moment that changes everything? It's early morning. You stand in the bathroom, brushing your teeth. The light hits the mirror just right, and suddenly you pause. The reflection looking back at you feels unfamiliar. The eyes are yours, but they've seen more. The skin is yours, but it tells a different story now. Of laughter, of sleepless nights, of years both hard and beautiful. For a second, your heart whispers, where did the time go? We all get there eventually. A moment when time no longer feels like a river we swim through, but more like one we're watching pass by. In a world obsessed with youth, where wrinkle creams sell faster than wisdom and filters cover more than just flaws, it's easy to feel like aging is something we should fear, something we should fight. But what if the real problem isn't aging itself? What if the real suffering comes from resisting it? Today, I want to take you on a very different kind of journey. One rooted not in fear, but in freedom. Not in regret, but in realization. Because Buddhism offers us a radically different way to see aging, not as a curse, but as a gateway, a path, a gift. In this video, we'll explore 5 profound Buddhist truths that will forever change the way you look at getting older. These aren't just ancient teachings, they're modern medicine for the soul. Once you hear them, you may never see your reflection the same way again. Let's begin. You will be forgotten faster than you think, and that's okay. It's not easy to admit, but at some point, we all wonder, will anyone remember me when I'm gone? We spend decades building careers, raising families, telling stories around dinner tables, filling photo albums with memories. We strive to be significant, maybe even irreplaceable in the lives of others. And yet, time has a way of softening even the sharpest footprints. The world moves on. Children grow busy with lives of their own. Friends stop calling as often. Even the things we once poured our hearts into, projects, homes, dreams, begin to fade from collective memory. At first, that realization can feel devastating, like we're slowly disappearing, but Buddhism teaches us something profound, something that flips this fear on its head. The Buddha spoke often of anatta, or no self, the truth that the idea of a fixed, permanent identity is just an illusion. You are not a name carved into stone. You are a ripple in the great ocean of life. A breeze that moves through others, then continues on, and that's not a loss, it's liberation. There's a well-loved Zen story about a wise monk who lived in a quiet mountain temple. Known for his compassion, he guided countless villagers through hardship. One day, a young disciple asked him, "Master, doesn't it sadden you that after you pass away, people may forget your name?" The old monk smiled and pointed to the river below. "Tell me," he said, "where is the water that flowed here yesterday?" The student hesitated. "It's gone. It's moved on." "Yet the river remains," the monk replied. "The lesson is clear. The goal is not to be remembered, but to be meaningful while we are here. Your words, your acts of kindness, your presence, they are the current that nourishes others long after your name is forgotten." Think about it. Can you recall the name of every teacher or mentor who shaped you? Probably not. But you remember the way they made you feel. Their guidance became a part of you. That is their legacy, and it can be yours too. So instead of clinging to a need for permanence, embrace impermanence as your freedom. Live generously, love deeply, and let your impact flow like the river. without needing to hold on. This is not about being forgotten. It's about becoming part of something larger than yourself. That is how we leave a true legacy. Your body will betray you, so befriend it instead. There's a moment that sneaks up on all of us. Maybe it's the stairs that feel a little steeper, or the mirror that reflects a slower, more fragile version of who we used to be. The body that once ran freely, lifted easily, danced effortlessly, now groans, hesitates. And when that happens, it's easy to feel betrayed. But Buddhism teaches that the problem isn't with the aging body, it's with our attachment to how it used to be. We don't suffer because we age. We suffer because we cling to youth. Think of it like this. Your body is not a machine breaking down. It's a living companion, a quiet witness to every chapter of your life. It has carried you through joy and heartbreak, through growth and illness, through sleepless nights and sunlit mornings. It has done its best, always. So why resent it now just because it's changing? There's a beautiful parable from the Buddhist tradition. An elderly monk, once strong and tireless, found himself struggling to carry water from the river. His hands trembled, his back ached. Frustrated, he turned to his teacher and asked, "Why does my body fail me?" The teacher handed him a cracked clay pot. "This pot," he said, "once held water perfectly. Now it leaks. But is it useless?" The monk shook his head. "No, master. It still holds some water, and the water it loses," the teacher continued, "nourishes the earth along the way. The pot has changed, but it still serves. Just like that pot. Your body may not be what it once was, but it still holds purpose. Maybe you can't run, but you can walk gently. Maybe you can't lift, but you can hold the hand of someone who needs comfort. Maybe your voice trembles, but it can still speak truth, compassion, and love. This is the shift, from control to care, from performance to presence. Instead of demanding perfection, offer your body gratitude. Feed it with good food, move it with tenderness, rest it when it asks for pause. Treat it not as a traitor, but as a lifelong friend who's carried you farther than you ever gave it credit for. Aging is not defeat, it is transformation. And if you listen closely, your body may be teaching you the most sacred lesson of all. Slow down, soften, and meet this moment with kindness. You can't keep everyone in your life, and that's natural. Have you ever looked around and realized people you once held close have quietly slipped away? The friend who used to call every week now only texts on birthdays. The sibling you grew up with feels like a stranger. Some vanish without warning, leaving behind only echoes of laughter in old photos or voices that still live somewhere in your memory. And it hurts, doesn't it? It's human to take it personally, to wonder, did I change? Did they stop caring? But Buddhism reminds us, nothing in this life is fixed. Impermanence doesn't just apply to seasons or bodies. It also touches the people we walk beside. Relationships, no matter how deep, are like footprints in the sand. Some stay for a while, others wash away quickly, and neither is wrong. There is a Buddhist parable that captures this truth with such quiet beauty. A young monk once asked his teacher, "Why do people leave us, even when we love them?" The teacher led him to a riverbank where the water flowed steadily by. "Look closely," he said. "Each drop of water passes this spot only once. Some droplets dance together for a while, Others part immediately, but none stay. People are the same, he continued. They arrive when you need them. They leave when their part in your story is complete. What causes pain is not their leaving, but your refusal to let them go. It's not abandonment, it's nature. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means honoring the season for what it was. Think about the old friends you've reunited with after years apart. The warmth returns instantly, doesn't it? That's because love never really leaves. It just changes form. Yes, aging means more goodbyes, but it also means having lived through deep connections, through bonds that help shape the person you are now. Instead of mourning every lost friendship, celebrate the ones that endure. Focus on the neighbor who still waves, the friend who listens, the child who reaches for your hand. Life is still offering you connection, but you have to stay open. Let go with grace, love without clinging, and remember, some souls were only meant to walk with you for a while, but the footprints they leave behind, those stay with you forever. You must accept that you no longer look young, and that's a gift. One day, almost without warning, it happens. You glance at your reflection and blink. The person looking back at you seems different. The jawline is softer, the eyes more tired, but wiser. There are silver strands in your hair that weren't there yesterday, and gentle lines at the corners of your smile that tell stories of both laughter and tears. In that moment, you might feel invisible, like the world no longer sees you. Because in today's world, youth is worshipped, beauty is airbrushed, aging is something to be fixed, reversed, or hidden behind creams and filters. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? In Buddhist thought, beauty is not about symmetry, youth, or smoothness. It's about presence, truth, and compassion. Wrinkles are not failures. They're maps. Every line a journey, every gray hair a poem. There's a story from Zen tradition of an elderly woman who came to a wise teacher with tears in her eyes. "I used to be beautiful," she whispered. "Now, when I look in the mirror, I don't recognize myself." The teacher led her into a garden. First, he showed her a cherry blossom tree in full bloom. "This is beautiful, isn't it?" he asked. She nodded. Then he took her to an ancient pine tree, its bark rough, its shape weathered by time. "And what about this one?" She paused. "It's different, but there's something strong about it, something sacred." The master smiled. "That is the beauty of age. It is not delicate. It is deep. As we grow older, our beauty doesn't fade, it transforms. Think of the elders who inspire you. Were they beautiful because they looked young, or because they radiated warmth, resilience, and grace? The softness in their voice, the sparkle of understanding in their eyes. That's real beauty, earned, not inherited. So the next time you look in the mirror and miss who you used to be, look deeper. See the storms you've weathered, the love you've given, the wisdom you've carried. See the person who has lived and is still living with courage. Because true beauty doesn't live in the past. It lives in you, here and now. And maybe, just maybe, it's never shined brighter than it does today. You will see more people you love die, but love never dies. Nothing prepares you for the stillness of a room once filled with someone's voice, for the way your heart drops when you instinctively reach for the phone, only to remember They're no longer there to answer. As we age, loss becomes more familiar. Parents, friends, partners, even children. They leave, one by one, and we're left navigating a world that feels a little quieter, a little emptier. Grief is not something you get over. It doesn't follow a timeline or tidy stages. It moves in waves, sometimes soft, sometimes crashing. But in the heart of Buddhist wisdom, there is a light. Love never truly ends. There's a story from the Buddha's time that speaks to this truth with heartbreaking grace. A woman named Kisa Gorami lost her only child. In anguish, she went from house to house, begging for medicine to bring him back to life. No one could help her. Until she reached the Buddha. He told her, "Bring me a mustard seed from a home untouched by death." She searched. Every door she knocked on held a story of loss. A mother, a brother, a beloved friend. Eventually, she returned empty-handed, but not empty-hearted. She had learned the truth. No one escapes sorrow, but we are never truly alone in it. Grief is the echo of love. It hurts deeply because we loved deeply. But even as the body fades, love does not vanish. It transforms. It becomes the way we speak their name, the way we pass down their stories, the way we hold others with more tenderness because of what they taught us. Have you ever smelled a familiar scent and suddenly felt them near? Heard a song and felt your chest ache with memory? That's not just nostalgia. That's presence. Buddhism doesn't ask us to forget those we've lost. It asks us to carry them forward, to honor them through compassion, to live in a way that allows their love to continue flowing through our words, our kindness, our everyday choices. As long as you keep loving, they are never truly gone. So yes, you will see more loss, but you will also discover a deeper strength, a heart that knows how to hold sorrow and still keep beating with joy. And that, too, is the beauty of aging. Aging is not a punishment. It's not life taking something from you. It's life giving something to you. Every wrinkle, every silver strand, every moment of slowing down is a mark of a journey fully lived. A body weathered not by defeat, but by experience. A heart softened not by weakness, but by compassion. Too often, society tells us to resist aging, to fear it, fight it, deny it. But the Buddha taught us a different way. When we stop clinging to the illusion of permanence, we finally begin to taste freedom. So I invite you, right here, right now, to let go. Let go of the need to be remembered forever. Let go of the mirror's judgment. Let go of the fear of endings. Instead, turn toward what is still here, your breath, your presence, your wisdom. You are not running out of time. You are arriving more fully, more honestly, more beautifully into yourself. So what will you do with this chapter? Will you write it in fear or in grace? Will you cling to the past or open your heart to the now? Will you retreat or will you rise? If this message touched something in you, I invite you to share your reflections in the comments. What truth spoke loudest to your heart today? Let's build a community where aging is not hidden, but honored. And if you found peace, wisdom, or a sense of calm in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Light of Buddhism. Together, We'll continue exploring how ancient wisdom can help us live more fully, right here, right now. Because aging isn't the closing of a book, it's simply the turning of a page. And this next chapter, it's yours to write.